Hello and welcome to Total Drama Multiverse episode 17. Um, I'm excited for this one because this is really our first real merge episode. Because our last one was the comeback episode. But of course, we just can't have a normal episode consistently in this show. You can already see the black boxes. We'll get to this in a minute. But we'll start with our pre-challenge section. Um, Basically, nobody really minds the fact that Elmo's here because, as far as they know, Elmo just is a filler boot character. Um, but Elmo still it's still funny to me that I'm doing Elmo, but he wants revenge on these four for getting him out. But they don't know that. So Elmo's sitting by himself, glaring over at both of them, both duos of them, because they don't all four hang out, but there's two duos here, because these two are starting to get on better terms after the whole Jax thing, because they were mad at each other, but yeah. And Ashley, who's pretty much recognized that Luz is like not like because of anything bad in particular, but she's more willing to work with Toph and Marcy than with Ashley, and Ashley doesn't want to get stuck with these three and then just get kicked by them later. So she comes up and asks Elmo what's bothering him. And Elmo's like, well, I want to get those four out because they got me out first, which was super embarrassing. And she's like, it would be really smart. These two are going to fight a lot, so they can try to make these two fight even more because they're getting on better terms, but they can change that. It's weird how kind of almost villainous Ashley's become, but these two are all over each other. They're official boyfriend girlfriend, so she wouldn't mind getting one of them out because they definitely are going to be a power couple. So they're almost like, but that's the problem. Outside of me and you, who are we going to recruit? And she's like, I might have a few ideas. Not too much else crazy's going on. Luz and Marcy are geeking out over freaking the fire glyph still. But one other thing is Toph is starting to feel left out because she can't see, so she can't do glyph magic. So she's just kind of sitting there while they both geek out, and she never really liked Marcy that much anyway. So yeah, she misses Ezekiel. So yeah, these three are, at least these two are drifting a little further apart from Toph, but they're still like friends. And then Peter and In are kind of just existing. Well, everyone is vibing when Chris tells everybody to report to right in front of the Chow Hall. So they all come out, and Chris is like, well, I want y'all to meet Agatha. And everyone's like, oh, what the fuck? Because, the freaking big claws, the gaping mouth, the gouged out eyes. And she's like, oh, well, nice to meet you too, assholes. And he's like, basically, while we were doing our challenge yesterday, or not yesterday, but a few days ago, our comeback challenge, somehow this little demon slipped through the 0 point and got in here. I only found out when she tried to kill me last night. And everyone's like, oh, that's nice. And he's like, yeah, but basically I'm giving you the opportunity to let her join the game. And they're all like, what the fuck? Why would we do that? Why would you let her join the game? And Chris is like, well, I was able to reason with her and learn more about her. And it turns out she would be really good. She would be a really good person to have shake up drama on the season. And also, she doesn't actually really want to kill me that bad. And then Chris is like, because Chris can go in the oh my gosh. Chris can go in the confessional sometimes. So in confessional, Chris is like, oh, if she knew anything about me, she wouldn't want to kill me though, because Agatha's whole thing, she'll kill bad adults. Because she's the embodiment of child agony. But that's what her spirit is, for those of y'all who don't know. And Chris. So he's got to keep that under check. But he's like, Yeah, she would be a really good person to have on the season. So I was wondering, maybe some of y'all need a new ally. Y'all can vote to let her into the game, and we'll go through one by one. Toph, Luz, and Marshy all. Well, I mean, Toph doesn't see her, but the three of them are all like pretty obvious no's that just from first impressions, seeing them and hearing them. So that's 3 votes no. Dipper is also scared, so no. Fritz is no. Monica is yes, because she thinks she's like, hold on, maybe I can help this girl, because she's like, they're both fucked up in the head, but clearly having a softer side. Izuku's like, yeah, respectfully, Monica, hell no. Ashley and Elmo need allies, so they'll take them wherever they can get. So that's 3 votes yes. Peter says no, and N says yes, which gives us 4 votes. Yeah, 4 votes yes. To like 7 votes no, I think is yeah. So he's like, well, that's a shame. Okay, Agatha. And Agatha's like, damn it. And Agatha gets brought back down here. So Agatha will not be joining the game. Or will she? Everyone's like, well, that was weird. But Agatha is like super angry and pouting. And Chris comes over to her and says, hey, I have an idea. Trust me, you might not be out of here just yet. And he starts whispering in her ear, and Agatha smiles, a terrifying smile. So this leads us to the challenge section of the video, where Chris comes out, like he walks out, but then all of a sudden, like they're all learning the challenge, while they were told to report to the like ruins of the jail place. So they're all sitting in there. He walks out and he's like, all right guys, so today's challenge is, and all of the power shuts off, and you hear a little girl laughing, and then it reappears, and Chris is you can't see Chris is gone, like the lights turn back on and Chris is gone. And then Agatha teleports, because she can teleport onto onto the area where Chris was, right in front of everyone, and everyone freaks out. And she explains that Chris thinks I should still be in the game. So Chris has made this challenge. Challenge 12, Elementary Evil. Agatha has been released on the island and is attempting to hunt down all 11 contestants. If she captures all 11 over the course of 3 hours, she will be let into the game and there will be no elimination. But if not, it will be a normal elimination. The person that lasts longest will gain immunity at the next campfire ceremony. So even if Agatha gets added back in, or not back in, but if she gets added in, the person who lasted the longest will also get immunity in the next episode. Or if she doesn't get in, then everyone who doesn't get caught will get immunity. So, yeah. She then says, all right, you have 1 minute, and she teleports away. And everyone is like, oh, fuck, and they start running. Everyone's freaking out, hiding. And Agatha, well, actually 1 minute's way too short. You have 10 minutes. And Agatha teleports away, so they're all running, and they find hiding spots. Some are just running around. So, after the 10 minutes are up, Agatha teleports right into the middle of between the 2 cabins, and she looks around, and she sees a hook, and she walks over there, and Fritz is hiding behind the cabin because he was kind of like stuck trying to figure out a spot whenever she teleported, so he ducked behind a cabin. And Dipper's next to him, so he's like, Dipper, trust me with this. And Dipper's like, what are you gonna do? And Fritz grabs him and throws him onto the roof of the cabin as Agatha runs over there, and then he whips around and tries to hook her, but she teleports onto his back and stabs him straight through the stomach, and all the servos go get screwed up, and he falls over, and Dipper's like, holy shit, you killed him. And then she's like, oh yeah, by the way, they're out if I put him in the challenge. And she's like, no, sadly I can't kill y'all. And then she pulls out one-up mushroom and hits Fritz with it, and Fritz is revived. So yeah. Then she's like, but I will get you now. And she she teleports onto the roof, and Dipper's like, wait, no, please. I don't want to, or I surrender. I don't want to get stabbed. And she is about to stab him when all of a sudden, In grabs onto his back and then freaking keeps flying away. And Agatha obviously can't fly, so she gets pissed off. And Dipper's like, thanks for saving me, but why? And In's like, just trust me on this. Follow me. And he starts flying. Well, not really follow me. He's literally carrying him through the air. He literally couldn't if you didn't want to, but whatever. And is like, just trust me. Yeah, he takes them to the top of the mountain where Ashley and Elmo are waiting. So we'll come back to these four in a minute. Agatha gets mad and then decides to check the Chow Hall. So she teleports over there, and she's checking the back rooms when suddenly she gets hit in the back of the head, like punched in the back of the head, right when she's about to open a closet that has Monica hiding inside. And Izuku runs out and punches her in the back of the head, and they begin fighting through the entire thing. Because at this point, I'd say Izuku's pretty much just a pretty jacked dude. Obviously, no powers or anything yet, but he's just a jacked dude at this point. So, but he's definitely not going to be able to hold his own against the chick with freaking knife hands and can teleport. So he eventually gets killed. And Monica runs away, and then he gets a one-up mushroom thrown on him. So yeah, Monica bursts out while they're fighting. He tells her to run after she bursts out of the closet, and she runs away. Then Agatha begins to chase her whenever she steps on a trap, and the trap is a bunch of what it looks like a bunch of paper just sitting on the ground, and whenever she steps on it, it activates like 100 fire glyphs that Luz and Marcy had made, and after it freaking burns the crap out of her, she grabs one of the one-up mushrooms and eats it herself so she doesn't freaking die. And then looks around and is like, who did that? And then Rock comes out from under the ground and freaking kicks her straight into the sky, like 50 feet into the sky. And she starts getting really mad after she hits the ground. What happened is Luz, Marcy, and Toph are all hiding. They burrowed underground using Toph's earthbending, and then put a trap right above where they were. What they didn't expect, or at least account for, though, was the fact that after the rock would come up, Agatha, who doesn't know about the earthbending powers, but is kind of just a random schoolgirl who has the same personality of a schoolgirl, is going to start getting really childishly angry and start trying to beat the shit out of the rock that just came out of the ground. So, and she has the power to do that. She's not just going to punch it once and start crying. So she gets super, super angry. She screams and she bursts through the rock and then looks under and sees all three of them in the hole under the ground. And they're like, oh, shit. So Toph starts trying to earthbend everywhere in there, but she can't do it that much because she doesn't want to hurt Luz or Marcy. And she can't tell who's Luz, who's Marcy, and who's Agatha, because Agatha jumped in there. So eventually, and Luz and Marcy are trying to use the fire glyphs, but eventually all three of them get killed one by one. And then they're all hit with the 1-up mushrooms. So yeah, sorry about that for y'all three. Then we'll cut back to the top of the mountain. Ashley and Elmo are chilling, and in drops off Dipper, and Dipper's like, "What is this?" And Ashley and Elmo are like, "We have an offer for you." And he's like, "What?" He's like, "We learned that Fritz is secretly trying to vote you off because he thinks you're not man enough to be in this game, or you're too childish to be in this game." And In is like, "Yeah, no, that's not cool. You're totally one of the best strategic players here. So us three have decided that we're gonna help you get out Fritz." Off screen, Ashley and Elmo convinced In to join their cause because they promised to not vote him out for a very long time, and they also promised to get him an extra cookie from the lunch area because I feel like that's something that he would do it for. So In, Elmo, Ashley are aligned, and Dipper's like, "No, there's no way he would do something like that." And In is like, "Oh yeah, well look at this." And In, on his eyes, it's like a screen. So he plays a video of Fritz talking to Azuku and Monica, and it's Fritz talking about voting out Dipper at the next thing. But actually, In is an insanely advanced robot, and that was entirely AI generated, but it was so well done that Dipper couldn't tell. And he's like, "How could he? After we were just becoming friends too, becoming friends again too." And Ash was like, "I don't know, I'm sorry." But then Agatha speaks up, and she's like, "Yeah, that does really suck." And then Dipper's like, "Yeah, I know. Wait a second, what?" And she laughs maniacally, and then and then freaking punts Dipper off the mountain. And Dipper dies, and she throws a 1-up mushroom down there for him. So yeah, Dipper's dead. She teleported right onto the four of them, and everyone starts freaking out. And In, being the dumbass that he is, freaking flies up into the air, shoots one of his missiles at Agatha, and Agatha's like, "Well, that was stupid," and then teleports away. And Elmo and Ashley are like, "Why?" And then they both get blown up, and Agatha teleports to both of them. While they're they're both dead. She gives them both 1-up mushrooms, and they wake back up, and she's like, "Okay, I don't know if that counts or not, because you technically did get killed, but it wasn't by me, so I'm just gonna," and she stabs both of them in the face, and then gives them another 1-up mushroom. So In is like, "Sorry, I didn't mean to do that." So yeah, this leads us to our final three. So In is flying around. Monica is just hiding in she went and decided that the best course of action would be to run away from Agatha, and then to run like she did, and then to run back into it and hide in the same spot, because she thinks there's no way she'd check the same spot twice. And as for Peter, we haven't actually even talked about Peter yet. What he did is he just he's like, "There's literally no way that this could happen, that you would get me." So he goes up into the tallest tree on the thing and just webs up on top of it, and then he's just sitting there because he knows there's no way she can get up there. So the three of them are sitting up there. When all of us, the three of them are sitting in their spots, and it is flying actually, but whatever. When all of a sudden, a bunch of trees start falling around Peter, and Peter's like, "Oh crap, she must have realized somebody's probably hiding in a tree," and she's going around slashing all the wood, and she ends up slashing the one Peter's on, and it starts falling, and he starts swinging through the woods, and she's like, "I found you," and she teleports, and she keeps teleporting all in front of where he's about to go, hanging onto the trees, and eventually he swings right onto a tree that she teleports onto just in time, and she slashes it, and he falls to the ground, and before he can get another web, he snaps his neck. A lot of people have died a lot of times in this. And she reports over to him and says, "Oof, that sucks," and then gives him a 1-up mushroom. So this leaves us with our last 2 people, but at this point it's been 2.5 hours. So she's really ought to lock in to find Monica and N. So she still can see N flying around in the sky, but she's trying to not get caught by N because N is pretty much willing to just destroy her at this point. He already shot the missile at her. So what she does is she goes to Fritz, which, by the way, all these people are just waiting in the prison area. That's where they're told to go after they're eliminated. She teleports over there and goes to Fritz, and she's like, "Hey, can I borrow you for a second?" And he's like, why?" And she's like, "Can you take that animatronic costume off?" And he's like, "Ew, no, why would I do that? And then I'd be a naked endoskeleton." And she's like, "Okay, I'll just stab you again." And he's like, "Oh, whatever." And he takes off the animatronic suit and hands it to her, and she dresses up in it and starts playing pretend. And she acts like she's Fritz running for his life, and she's like, "Somebody save me! Somebody save me!" And he's using the voice box that's in there. She took Fritz's voice box. And In is like, "Oh, if I help him, then maybe I can get Dipper and him on good terms," because In is kind of an idiot and doesn't realize that they're trying to get Fritz out. He wants everybody to be friends with each other. So he runs over and he grabs his arm to fly away with him. But then the animatronic hand has claws rip out of it like freaking Wolverine and stab In through the like it slashes N's whole body, and he splits in half. Of course, he doesn't need a 1-up mushroom. He's like nanobot, organic robot, whatever. Freaking like fixes itself, and then he reboots, and then he's like, "Oh, did I lose?" And she's like, "Yeah, you got tricked. Here, take this suit back to Fritz." And In goes over here and gives Fritz his suit back. So this leaves just Monica. I did not even mean to make that reference, but that's actually pretty funny. So at this point, it's been 2 hours and 55 minutes, and Monica can see the time on a clock in the wall. And she's like, "Yes, yes, yes." But at this point, Agatha's starting to get stressed out because she really doesn't want to go back to being stuck in the elementary school for all eternity. So she riffs around, and she ends up she's like crying. Agatha is, and she's rifting around or teleporting around like crazy. And eventually she teleports back into that room, into the room where she killed Izuku and Monica is hiding. And she starts just sobbing on the ground. She's like, "I can't go back. I can't go back." And Monica like starts feeling really bad. So she's like, "Ugh, should I do this? Fuck it. Maybe if I'm nice, she won't kill me." So she gets out of there, and she's like, "Hey, she's like, "Hey, are you okay?" And Agatha's like, "Oh, yes." And she rushes over. Monica's like, "Wait, wait, wait." And then she's like, "What? Why would I not kill you? Obviously, I'm gonna kill you." And Monica's like, "Yeah, but I just want to know if you're good first." And she's like, "Here, I'll tell you what." She stabs Monica through the stomach, and Monica dies. And then she gives her a 1-up mushroom, and she's like, "Okay, now I'm okay." And Monica's like, whatever. And she's like, "No, but seriously, I could not have gone back." And Monica's like, "What do you mean go back?" And Agatha explains her situation, how she's trapped in that purgatory with all the dead souls. And Monica's like, "I've been trapped in a school for seemingly all eternity once." And Agatha's like, "Really?" And Monica's like, "Yeah." And they end up having a whole conversation and kind of hit it off as friends. So that's going to be the end of the challenge. And Agatha did, in fact, capture everybody, and to a lot of people's disenjoyment, has joined the cast. Sorry. Also, Monica won immunity. So yeah, that'll be important to remember for the next episode. So we can go into the post challenge section. What can we say for the post challenge? All right, we'll just refresh on teams real quick. So we have Toph, Luz, and Marcy, but Luz and Marcy are bonding a lot more, and Toph is starting to feel left out. We have the other big one, Elmo, Ashley, In, and Dipper. Which is actually just Ashley and Elmo trying to play the dumbass In and the easily manipulated Dipper. We have Azuku, Monica, and now Agatha, which it's going to take a lot of time for Azuku to get used to being around Agatha, because he's still creeped out by her, but he literally dates a freaking psycho killer who made a person hang himself. So I think it's probably fine. So yeah, these three are a trio now. And finally, there's Peter. Actually, there's Fritz, who thinks he's still chill with Dipper, but is getting played. And then there's Peter, who is kind of just there. There's not really much Peter's doing yet. So yeah, no elimination. So that is going to do it for this episode. It wasn't okay. It's 26 minutes. That's not bad. I do hope y'all enjoyed, and I do hope to catch y'all in episode 18, which will be the first real episode of the merge with like eliminations and stuff. So yeah, I'll see y'all then. Goodbye.